Welcome to Swala Nyeti, the law podcast that pairs a layman and a lawyer to answer your legal questions of the day. Swala Nyeti is sponsored by the law firm of Kigwata and Company Advocates and is intended for educational purposes only.
Welcome to episode 37 of Swala Nyeti. I am the lawyer, aka Wakili Harry Karanja.
And I am the layman, Gashao Patrick.
Hello, Gashao.
Wakili, today is Friday.
Just stop there. No songs, please.
Okay.
No songs, no singing.
In fact, I was looking for the lyrics. As I had told you, I launched my career.
This career is not yet coming to fruition.
It hasn't taken off, but it's
Okay.
on the runway.
All right, okay. Good.
And even to make matters, you remember, to make matters better first, do you remember last week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last week, somebody did not come to the studio. You not say who. So the other week,
Yeah,
there's a guy who we are told to take home
yes.
beer, alcohol.
Yes.
Guess what the president said this week?
I'm sure you want to tell
Unaweza
me.
kunywa. So now you can go to your local.
Well, let's hope the problems that we are discussing today don't force anyone to go to a local.
This one might
Okay.
actually, in fact.
Okay, let's hear
Do you know
it.
what the question is? Can I stop my neighbor from farming smelly pigs that are killing my tomatoes?
Okay.
Let me read for you this question. So, habari ya wakili. This one is in Swahili. So, these are my translation skills at work. Are you ready?
All right, go ahead.
I am a small-scale farmer trying to grow tomatoes, but my neighbor will not let me prosper. He has started to rear pigs on his farm, right next to my tomatoes. But he is a chemist, who I am told feeds his pigs with some drugs to make them grow faster and fatter. But the pigs are removing a very bad smell and waste, and it is causing my tomatoes to die. Only those tomatoes at the fence next to his piggery are dying. I have asked him to move his pigs, but he says he has built a high standard pigsty and is not trespassing on my land, so I should not bother him. Can the courts help me? So this guy is saying removing, which is he means the smell. It's coming from the piggery. This man must come from my village. I understand the language he wrote in.
Okay, good. So that when I summarize, you can make sure you can correct me if
To your
I'm
service.
mistaken.
Don't worry.
So let's see if I understand correctly. The tomato farmer, he has a problem with his neighbor who is farming pigs,
Yes.
and he says that the pigs that his neighbor is rearing
Yes.
are removing a bad smell
Yes.
that is killing his tomatoes, emitting a
Yes.
foul odor
Yes.
that is killing his tomatoes.
Correct.
And he says that these pigs are being fed some form of drugs.
This guy says the neighbor is a chemist.
The neighbor is a chemist, so they're being fed some drugs. And because of this, and the neighbor claims that he's doing his thing in his compound,
Mm-hmm.
and he has built for them a high standard pigsty, so he should not be bothered. And
Yeah.
our tomato farmer wants to know whether the courts can help him.
And also the pig farmer is saying he's not trespassing. He's doing it on his farm. He
Yes.
doesn't understand why the halabaloo.
Yes.
So this guy, he calls him a chemist. You almost call him a chemistry. I think he's doing concoctions of drugs on that other side of the fence.
I mean, you've done this work before.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Rule number 1, pigs must always smell.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
Oh, no, there is.
Yes.
They are very... In fact, there are few... But that's now agriculture. There are few things you can put on the pigsty.
I mean, to help this farmer, the tomato farmer, I do need your expert opinion. Is it common for pigs to cause other plants to die?
No, unless they eat the plants.
Okay.
Death by eating.
All right. So let's see. I think here, we're not being told that the pigs crossed into the neighbor's land, the tomato farmer's land.
Yeah,
So the issue of trespass, as you're saying,
it's not there.
is not there. And there's also this pig farmer who says he built a high standard pigsty And assuming that that's the case, it would be difficult probably to also talk about any form of negligence.
Correct. And I know people say many things about us pig farmers. So we are used to this type of rumors. Like we are giving animals drugs.
Okay, but let's assume that what is happening here is as a result of this pig farm. Having eliminated two possible torts, it would look like
negligence and
trespass.
Yeah.
It might look like the tomato farmer has no options, but there is actually a third option.
Ish.
It's
one has been introduced today.
it's a tort which is not very common. It doesn't even have a proper name. It's called the Ryland versus Fletcher rule. And essentially what it talks about is if you as a landowner bring something into your property that is likely to cause harm if it escapes, and it does escape, and because of that it causes some injury or damage to another party, then you would be held liable for that action.
Like a pet lion.
Yeah, that's pretty good example. If you bring a pet lion and it escapes and it causes,
I just become Joy Adamson.
Well, I think they knew how to take care of theirs.
Okay.
But that's essentially the rule. So maybe what I could do, I'll just take you through what this rule exactly requires, and we see whether this pig farmer is liable under those requirements. So when it comes to the rule of Ryland versus Fletcher, there are essentially four things that we want to see.
Let me get my pen and paper.
I thought you filled up that paper by now.
With you, you can never be too sure. Rule number 1.
So the first thing is this pig farmer, was the use of his land natural or was it non-natural or special? Because it must be that whatever he was using the farm for has to be non-natural. It can't be something which is common to other pig farmers.
So what determines?
So here, I think the only thing I see which is different from maybe other pig farmers is this claim that he was feeding them with some form of chemical enhancement.
Maybe the pigs are getting headaches and he's giving them Panadol, Guys are over here saying he's giving drugs.
So usually when it comes to this, I mean, it can't be he said, she said. Usually there will have to be some probably expert opinion brought in to determine whether these alleged claim of chemicals is actually causing this non-natural foul smell emanating from the pigs.
This would have to bring it. The complaint, the person.
So yes, remember there's a concept I told you about: he who alleges proves. So if it's this tomato farmer who is making this claim, they would be ready to prove it. So usually they would have to go and get perhaps an environmental impact assessor who will come at their cost to make this assessment.
Okay, so first we say whether it's natural versus unnatural.
Yes, and the thing you have to realize about this is it doesn't matter even if the pig farmer has a license or a permit.
To do their natural thing.
To do pig farming.
Oh.
Okay. To do the pig farming. So one argument might be, hey, I have my NEMA license, but even if you're conducting something which you have been licensed to do, but whatever it is that you're doing maybe had not earlier been captured by the regulations, or it's so outside the common that you can be considered special, then it still falls within the ambit of this non-special or non-natural or special use of the land.
Understood.
So if that is determined, the second thing now you have to look at is whether whatever he brought into his land or whatever he had on his land would be likely to cause harm or mischief if it escaped.
Like smell.
So yes, now here you have to understand that unlike most other torts, negligence does not play a part in the Ryland versus Fletcher rule. This is what we call a tort of strict liability.
Strict liability.
strict liability, meaning that once the actions are proven, your intention does not matter.
Oh,
Your recklessness or negligence or even your carefulness will not matter.
okay.
If the thing that you brought into your property is likely to cause mischief and or harm when it escapes, and it does escape, whether you intended to or not, whether you're negligent or not, whether you're reckless or not, will not matter.
Okay.
It's a strict liability rule. So, of course, as we said, whatever you brought on your land, you know that it could cause harm, or
you
even if
don't.
you don't know,
Yeah.
but if it can cause harm,
It escaped.
if it escapes, that's the second thing. And of course, the third thing is that it actually did escape. Okay.
Must escape.
So to show that this smell escaped,
Yeah.
there could be several ways that this tomato farmer uses.
Okay.
I mean, you could do a smell test. Simply
Tell
just
the person stand here. Can you smell that?
yes, but more scientific, of course, using an expert to do it. But also you can do chemical analysis to see if there's any change in either water quality or soil quality or air quality in his side of the land, and to compare this to what is coming from the pig farmer's land.
So, how would they compare? They would also need to take some soil from the pig farmers.
Usually these, like I said, these are scientific samples.
So you are allowed to do it.
I'm not sure he would be allowed absent of a court order, especially if the pig farmer is not keen on allowing, because then if someone went into his property without the pig farmer's consent, that would be trespass.
Yes.
So usually it would have to be probably either with his consent, and if not with his consent, then with a court order.
Okay.
And
So
of course,
now we have gone through whether it's natural or special. It causes harm and it escaped.
correct. And of course, the last thing is that the tomato farmer's property was damaged as a result of this escape.
So property was damaged.
Exactly. So here now you'd have to show that these tomatoes which were dying were actually dying because
As a
this.
result of something that is happening on this pig farm.
Of
Whether the smell
of whatever escaped from the pig farm.
Whatever escaped.
Not just as a result of the pig farm. I mean, remember, you're asking about whatever escaped.
Okay.
That is what you're trying to prove, that what escaped is the one which caused harm. So if you're able to prove these four things, then it is possible for this tomato farmer to bring an action under the Ryland versus Fletcher rule.
But are you telling me I cannot do whatever I want on my farm because of my neighbor?
In your land, there's a concept in land law that, you should have the right for the use and enjoyment of your property.
Yes.
But remember, your rights should not infringe another person's rights.
Yeah.
So if they are infringing that other person's right to use and enjoy his property, then you are not allowed to do that thing.
How are they going to stop me?
So this is exactly what this gentleman who's written in is asking, and they're going to stop him using a court order. So number one, he could get an injunction against you who is farming those pigs, or against this pig farmer, to either relocate the pigs or to remove them altogether. And he could also get damages. He could also get money, compensated in money, maybe for the tomatoes that he has lost.
Just one lane of tomatoes. Okay.
Whatever it is, he would still have to prove it in court. And on that basis, he could get compensation.
This is very unfair. I mean, you could have bought land to put pigs, and a person is allergic to pigs, or their religion does not allow them to be near pigs, or and then they go to court and they stop me farming and prospering. In fact, he said his neighbor doesn't want him to prosper. He's the one who doesn't want the neighbor to prosper.
So I think we should all follow the concept of tort law, which says let's be good neighbors to each other. And in this case, I think being a good neighbor is preventing any foul smell from crossing from your land to your neighbor's land.
So there you have it. You have some, as we have heard Wakili saying, you have some recourse to this. There are four things that you need to prove in this tort. That it's unnatural what he's doing, that it's kindly likely to cause harm if it escaped. That it escaped, now that you're saying the smell is already on your nostrils, so maybe it's already escaping, but you have to prove that. And then you have to show that there is property that was damaged out of it. And I wish you all the best in this, and I hope you and your neighbors still have a good relationship, and maybe he understands you. All the same, thank you for your question. And as we go ahead to the weekend, we would like to wish you a very, very good weekend. Hope Wakil will come on Monday. Will you come on Monday, Wakil?
I intend to come on Monday.
With you now, I have to confirm. In any case, thank you for listening to this episode of Swala Nyeti. Make sure you come next week. Hoping Wakili comes, we'll be discussing business law. And that one looks like it's going to be a good one. So hope to see you next week. And thank you. And on behalf of Swala Nyeti, have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You have been listening to Swala Nyeti. Special thanks to our layman, Gashal Patrick, and our lawyer, Harry Karanja. If you have a legal question that you want answered, send us a WhatsApp message on 0708 111 222 or email us at admin@swalanyeti.org. You can find downloads to all our podcast episodes on our website www.swalanyeti.org.